Follow me and ponder the question, what if?
Yo, what's up, people? What is going on? We have another episode of What If? It's episode 6. Got 4 people in the place to be, but more will come. Oh, 2 more popped in. Bam. Bam.
Yeah. What the heck? I missed the message.
Yes.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, guys? How you doing? LDG. Ninjoid, thanks for popping in. So got a few more people in here. Like I said, this is episode 6 of the Roundtable for What If. We're going to go around the panel so these guys can talk about their channels. First up, Danny Graham. Talk to the people, sir.
I'm Danny Graham, aka Comic Chat. My show will be tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Chaotic conversation, 4 or 5 questions. Cut it up. It'll be myself, Anzo, Chris, Maz, Mama Bear, my boy Terrence. So tune in if you're not doing anything else. Even if you're doing anything else, cancel that. Come watch us.
Absolutely. Next up, Chris Knight. What's up, brother?
Well, not too much, ready to talk about this episode. Thank you for having me. Real Review 3000 is my channel. Chaos Central also is the channel I'm on. So check out both. Check out everybody here. And again, thank you.
Excellent. Next up, Comic Division. What's up, man? Tell the people on the channel, sir.
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
Awesome. I am Comics Division. You can follow me on Twitter and Minds at Comics Division. Of course, there's my YouTube channel, Comics Division, where every Monday and Thursday I do a stream, and been trying to get back to putting out more regular content, which has been going kind of well. But yeah.
All right. Next up, LDG. What is up?
Going on, LDG of Geeks and Joy. You hit me up on YouTube. Chilling, having fun. Next episode. This was half interesting. Let's do it.
All right. And Ninjoid. What's up, Ninjoid? Glad you can make it. Tell the people about your channel, sir.
All right. You guys can personally find me on Ninjoid243, where over there I'm an editor. And also I report on Star Wars, Marvel, and DC news. So make sure you go over and check that out. And I'm excited to talk about the episode.
And guys, just make sure the Ninjoid cut of The Last Jedi is coming out very soon. So stay tuned for that one, man.
Yes.
And now this episode of What If. Interesting episode. Let's see what these guys think about it. Danny, first impressions of this episode.
I think it was awesome. Best yet, because it almost for 10, 15 minutes, man, my dream was alive. What I predicted was alive. Motherfucker was like, damn, Danny know what he's talking about. I still think he would be the superior Black Panther. Out of the ones that's left, not the original. Let me get that straight. Not the original. The ones that are still alive, I think he'd be the best fit. You saw a glimpse of that. So overall, I was very happy. Good show, man. I enjoyed it.
All right. Chris Knight, first impressions.
You sure you want me to actually give you my first impression?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I do.
I was not really feeling the direction, the feel of this one. I didn't hate this. It's just I hated the premise, if that makes any sense. I did not hate this episode, but I hate the premise and how it went. But I'll get into it more later and talk about it. But it was a good episode.
All right. Comics?
Well, I felt like they went sifting through the refuse bin of 2 better movies, that being Iron Man and Black Panther, and came up with this episode.
Oh my god!
Hey, man, this episode did feel like Black Panther and the other one,
Iron Man.
But yeah, Iron Man, 100%. Oh my god, look at LDG's picture. What the fuck?
The sad thing. Wait, stop. The sad thing here is that he searched the internet.
That's what I was going to say.
So what else? What else did he come across?
And what else did he pass up?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how did he even go? Like, anyways, I'm not even gonna ask. LDG, your first impressions of this episode.
They should make me a fucking writer. Yeah, I'll make a what if. Shit. This was forced. This was like what the hell? Seriously, no creativity. All they did is regurgitate bullshit, right? This seems so forced. Where's the original thought? All they did is take, white and black and make gray. That's all they did. Nothing special here. Nothing to see, folks. Seriously. And then another what if where you don't know what the what if was, right? Because he just didn't save him out of nowhere. Like what was the specific thing that was the moment that went left instead of right? You know what I mean? Because we have no clue about that. Like he just saved him. Like what made him change his mind? What was the? Oh, not a fan. Not a fan.
All right. Next up is Ninjroid. Ninjroid.
Okay.
Save Danny. Save Danny.
I'm actually with Danny on this one.
Thank you, Nidroid.
This is definitely my second favorite episode, right, with the Doctor Strange one. So I really enjoyed it. Great episode.
All right. All right. That's interesting.
How much is he paying you?
Nothing. Nothing.
So I'm gonna give my first impressions of this episode, and I actually thought it was just meh. I wasn't really impressed with this episode at all. I thought it was okay, but we'll get into the good stuff and the bad stuff. But
Phantom zone yourself.
I'm sorry, Daddy. Bossinator's in the house. What's up, Bossinator?
What's up?
What's going on? So tell the people about your channel and then your first impressions of this episode.
You know what? Just subscribe to me. I do a bunch of stuff. Just subscribe to everybody here because I'm on everybody's channels. That's the quick gist of it. As far as this episode is concerned, well, compared to last week's episode, this episode was way better. Now, as far as this episode in general, I enjoyed it. It was probably one of the better episodes of the show. There are things I liked about it. Just overall, I think very, very strong episode. I'll go into more details once I get into my positives and negatives.
I take back everything bad I ever said about millennials.
Is there a new drug hitting the street? It's something, right?
Probably.
Yeah, I definitely think there is.
The next episode should be what if LDG stopped hating Marvel? That should be the next. That should be
not Marvel, the MCU. Love the Marvel. Hate the MCU.
All right, so let's get into what we liked about this episode. Danny, your positives.
I'll tell you what I like about it. I like the fact I've always been saying this. I've been preaching it. I think Killmonger. I want to see Killmonger be the next Black Panther. He achieved that. Now, did the way he achieved it was dirty? Yeah, but it was like old boy said, Klaue, I don't want to play you in chess because some of those moves was like 2 or 3 steps ahead. I like the way he maneuvered around it. Didn't like the fact that he killed Chadwick Boseman and Rhodey, but hey, means to an end. Maybe when he does finally achieve the crown, he might have an arc that change him, and he might show some kind of remorse. I don't know. But remorse. Like I said, shut the fuck up, okay?
Oh, Iron Man, he killed.
I never ever disturb you when you talking.
Right. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
Right. So my fault. What if you shut up? That would be a good one. Okay. Yes. Like I said, maybe because at the end of the day, let me go ahead and tell you what they say. This shit is fucking fake. Okay. I don't really care one way or the other. But what I predict was going to happen happened. So I am satisfied in my little mind. But I'm not going to lose sleep. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not doing none of that crazy shit. I'm going to absorb it for this 1 week. I'm going to let it go into the next episode. But for right now, what I like this particular second, I think was fantastic. I want to see Killmonger as Black Panther. I saw that. I probably won't see it in live action. But for right now, I'm happy with it.
All right. Yellow
Can keep your reviews without chop shots to me, please. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yellow Does It has reached the panel. What's up, Yellow? Talk about your channel and your first impressions of this episode.
Yellow does it, man. You know where to find me. You know what I do. I've been here before, man. It's not even about me. This is about the round table and what if.
Come on, Yellow.
That's
Come
what
on,
we're
Yellow.
getting into here tonight, man. And
Come on,
let me
Yellow.
tell you this, all right?
Come on,
Right off Jump Street, all right? This episode was made for me to love it. Just in premise alone, I already knew, right, that this was gonna be great. And then they went above and beyond when they were like, oh no, it's not just Tony's gonna make a suit for Killmonger and now he's gonna be the Iron Killmonger. No. Killmonger has been this guy already for at least 20 years. Everything that led to him being the man that he was had happened already by this time. I loved how they handled I really enjoyed. There was one moment in this episode where I was like, ugh. And it's because Wakanda Forever just doesn't work with an Oakland accent. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. Wakanda Forever, Holmes. I just wasn't into it. But everything else, yeah, this was perfect, man. This is one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yellow's a motherfucking genius, bro.
This and Doctor Strange, you know. And the last episode was good too. I really liked the last episode too. But this and Doctor Strange, this is what if is. I like it.
All right. So now we go back. Danny's happy. We'll go back to Chris. And Chris, what are your positives of this episode?
I liked the interaction between a lot of different characters from different things. I mean, we haven't seen the interaction here. I thought it was interesting the way that Killmonger and Tony got a lot of interaction there. I didn't think that they'd end up saving Tony Stark the way that they did. I almost thought that they were going to wait till he got to the cave and he would save him from the cave. Part of me wonders if that wouldn't have been better, but I didn't mind how they did it. The interaction there. And again, I think while it is kind of a lackluster way of doing it, I didn't mind the fact that they jumped between different movies. I mean, we got like the part where they're going to get the
We got the Age of Ultron part.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Where they're in the warehouse, that little scene. I thought that was cool that they were just kind of doing that. I was okay with that. Again, I'll get to the problems I had later, but those things, I mean, I like the interaction with all the different characters. It was almost like a not good enough for Avengers movie, but it was still good. With that interaction. So yeah.
All right. Comics, what are your positives? What did you like about this episode?
What I liked about it is I don't have to watch it ever again. I don't have anything to say about it. I really don't.
Yes. Thank you. I 100% agree.
I wasn't expecting that. That's funny.
At least I made Danny laugh with it.
That was funny.
Oh shit! All right, LDG, you're up, my friend. Positives.
I can't add to perfection. What he said is exactly. I don't ever want to see this again. It gives me nothing. What did I like about it? Not much. It was entertaining for 20 minutes, enough to kill 20 minutes of my time that I'll never get back. Yeah, sorry, I really can't say anything good about this episode.
He's just like, yeah. So, I didn't really like the episode, but yeah, you know, like
I will say this.
Sorry, I mean,
I will say this: these two aren't wrong. While I might like some of these to some extent, I have no interest in seeing them more than once. I don't feel like I'm like, Okay, I guess. I mean, none of them have grabbed me and go like, "Oh, I gotta
All right,
rewatch
all
that."
right, all right. There'll be a negative segment.
Yes, there will be. Go ahead.
Well,
yeah.
that's a positive too, though. That is a positive that I don't have to rewatch any of these.
Go ahead, Yellow. Your positives.
Man,
I know you gotta bring it
again,
home.
top to fucking bottom, bro. Like they open up with first of all, Iron Man is still the best like origin film, the best like what do you call it, like one standalone film. Like that's the thing, that's we still agree about that, about with the Iron Man movie. It's still one of the best.
I agree.
No, for
The
sure.
way they open
yeah.
up with the Iron Man thing is just really good. And not having Tony, it's rough not having Robert Downey Jr. It's cool. The other guy, whoever he is, shout out to him. He had big shoes he had to wear, and he wore them pretty well.
Wasn't bad, eh? His voice acting for Tony Stark?
He sounded like him.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean,
it was good enough.
He's sufficient enough for the part.
Right. He captured the essence, I'll say. You know what I'm saying? He captured the essence, I think, and he did a good job. And it was nice. It was nice being able to revisit that and then having it repay you for being a fan for so long in a way that was interesting by having Killmonger show up and save him, man. I really like that. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I really liked a lot of stuff I can't everything. But I guess my favorite line in there it's about to get militant in here. When Killmonger was about to kill Rhodey, so then he said, "How could you wear the colors of the uniform of your oppressor and fight for him and all that shit?" And then he killed him. I was like, yeah, that's crazy right there. That's out of control. I really, really appreciated that stuff. I like having Rhodey and Killmonger and T'Challa all in one spot together. I really appreciated that kind of stuff there. I liked how they had Pepper always suspicious from the beginning, because that's her job, right? Whether it's a journalist who's just trying to get popped off, or if it's somebody else, whoever it is, Pepper has always been looking out for Tony, and I appreciated how they kept that going, and how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Obadiah Stane, man. I don't know. I like all of this stuff. I thought that I like the Gundam suit thing, the drones, what was her name from Iron Man 2, Whiplash. I wanted to have drones in there, or whatever, droids or whatever it was, whatever his motivation was, Killmonger's motivation for having robots and all that. I liked all of that stuff, man. I liked the fight at the end. I liked the constant, the conniving, kind of manipulative Killmonger jumping from side to side. I liked all of the shits. I like all, except for, Wakanda forever, Holmes. I didn't like that, but I liked everything else. Else. Again, the animation was great. All of the voice acting. I mean, Angela Bassett, fam.
Mm-hmm.
Just her voice, just that scene of them being like, "General, what do you think we should do?" And then they show her being the top shotter of the Dora Milaje. Like, I really appreciated all of that. That's a big Black Panther kind of lore thing, and I love that they gave that to us.
All right. Bossinator, positives, because you liked this episode too, right? You liked it a lot?
Yes, I did. Man, I mean, yeah, I think Yellow basically said it best, but I'm gonna try to.
Please.
I think I'm gonna try to top it here. I really liked Killmonger's plan in this episode. It was very complex, but it works. Like, I like how Killmonger is playing both sides, because at the end of the day, Killmonger has one goal in mind. And in order for Killmonger to get to that goal in his mind, he has to play both sides. And he's very manipulative as well. Like when he's like talking to Tony about the drugs, he's like, "Oh, well, I just didn't have like the material to do it." Like, he's like kind of like making like Tony feel bad for him. And then Tony's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll help you." And then that stuff I thought was cool. And kind of going back to his plan, like, again, like, it works in the sense, like, the careful planning of it and the way it was executed was almost flawless. Like, it's kind of, because like I'm kind of going this sidetrack here, but with What If, it's like, what if is like one of those things where what if like something happened like in a different scenario? Like what if Killmonger was there when Tony, you know, was gonna get hurt in the desert, essentially. So when he was there, he knew like in a way like he needed Tony for that purpose of like going to Wakanda. So in order to do so, he had to earn Tony's trust. So not only saving him, but also taking Stane out of the picture. It's almost like now he has a straightforward path of where to go. And then the fight with T'Challa and having T'Challa die at the hands of Killmonger with Stark's tech, like that actually kind of makes sense because again, Killmonger did not have Stark's tech in Black Panther. And so you had now with the tech, Killmonger was able to kill him, and when he used T'Challa's glove, I was like, damn, that was pretty cool. Because again, with the vibranium and stuff, and he gets the spear, and him killing Tony was a bit of a shock. I'm like, oh shit. Like, really that early? Holy hell. I'm like, damn, they killed off Tony Stark multiple times throughout the show. God damn. Like that was pretty sick. And also seeing T'Challa like in this episode was cool too. I mean, because like he's basically been in every single What If episode besides the first episode or the third episode. So it's cool to see him getting some screen time too. And of course, and that last action sequence in Wakanda was like really, really good. And like I liked how Shuri and just everybody's like kind of hard to really trust him because he's an outsider.
Yeah.
But again, that kind of goes back to his plan. Is like he knew this was going to happen. So and it goes back to playing both sides. Like he had that failsafe in the drones, and he made sure that they couldn't see him use the drones essentially. So, and because he knew like what kind of had the technology and like Ross couldn't see them, it was easy to kind of like just being able to trick them and be like, hey, look, the drones are working, but hey, like I'll stop them. I'm the hero of the day because that could easily make him trust them. And then at the end where he becomes the Black Panther essentially, he has that vision where T'Challa basically tells him, was it all worth it in the end? Like, was it worth all like basically what you did? And that it's going to. Yeah, I did too. Like, and I like the fact that in the vision he's like, well, it's going to bite you in the ass in the end. I think. Yep. That was handled well. I think, like Yellow said, I liked that Pepper was very not trusting of him because, again, like that's anybody in that situation would be like, "What's your end game here?" Like you just show up and then like you're getting like all this. Like, I mean, granted, like, hey, I appreciate you saving the guy, but at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, I don't think it's really worth all of like the stuff that you're getting. So. Pepper was, I just think everything in this episode, like Yellow said, was just great. And also, I did like to throw away a line of Killmonger being like, I like what? I like anime. I thought that was pretty chuckle-worthy, not going to lie.
Mm-hmm. When they were talking, when he was making the drones.
Tony said, worst come to worst, we made the most expensive Gundam model.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. What are you saying?
Yeah, that stuff I liked, but otherwise, man, like I think there's really nothing else I could really say. I mean, it just everything works for me. So
you basically told us the whole episode.
Everything worked.
Next up, Ninja, what did you like?
All right. Well, I'm actually going to echo Yellow, Danny, and Austin here. The episode for the most part, everything was great.
Yeah.
I loved Killmonger in particular. Like he made this episode. Honestly, he was the best part. I actually like Killmonger in this episode more than what we saw of him in Black Panther. I love seeing him more aggressive, more calculating, and we actually see the true villain that we only saw like. I'll say like the end of the second act and then the third act of Black Panther. So I really like that we see more of Killmonger. And then I just like also all the other small cameos, like Ross appeared.
Yeah.
Klaue also appeared, in which I like Klaue's exit a lot more in this. I like also just a lot of the story as well. I like to see, and I just like that this episode is also just another villain tale. It's like you know what? Yeah, I'll even say Doctor Strange. That episode is also almost like a villain tale as well. But I'm more like I am more of a villain guy and all of that. So I really like to see when villains win and all of that, like in this episode. And I also love everything with T'Challa, seeing him with the aftermath and all of that, talking to Killmonger. I mean, like, this episode overall was very good and is definitely my second favorite episode.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. My positives: animation, voice acting. I guess you'll say the cameos, but that's about it to me. Like,
I got a question for you, Anzo.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought you liked the bad guys and like to see the bad guys win, all that stuff. You tell me.
I do, but when I get into my problems for this episode, I'll let you know why I have an issue with that. But yeah, I love when the bad guy wins, but the reason why I had an issue with this one, and I'll tell you guys when I get to my negatives. But I mean, it was an okay episode. It just wasn't like, it wasn't great to me. I was just like, okay, that's it. So we'll get into the negatives of this episode because I really don't have much positives to say, to be honest with you. So Danny, what are your negatives of this episode?
Well, one big negative was like, how the hell is Pepper so much smarter than Rhodey? He's supposed to be like this colonel in the Air Force and highly trained vet, and all this kind of stuff. And like Pepper could see through Killmonger, but Rhodey was like he was oblivious to it. I kind of had a little issue to that. I didn't like how young they had Shuri. I thought she should be older, more mature. To me, she's like a little girl. I don't know whether or not I looked at it wrong, whatever. But other than those
younger. She's younger because when the things happen.
Yeah, she's younger.
She was young in Black Panther, but Black Panther took place like 5 or 6 years later.
I got it.
There's a big difference between 13 and 18. You know what I mean?
You're right. But I was saying to the eye test, I was expecting to see her the same age in live action. Just a little nitpick, not nothing that's going to sway me back the other way. Just was those little nitpicks. I thought Rhodey was kind of dumb compared to Pepper. Pepper knew what was going on. She had I guess a woman's intuition that Killmonger wasn't right. So other than those two little nitpicks, man. Other than that, I have no negatives.
All right. Next up, Chris Knight. Bring it.
One of the things that really bothered me was when Tony confronts Killmonger and then he closes himself into, obviously it's supposed to be something that's impenetrable, that's going to like lock him into place. Tony's smarter than that because he's not a combat guy. He can't do hand-to-hand fighting. That's not his thing. Yet he locks himself into a room with a guy that's trained. None of that made sense. It's like, no, Tony's smarter. He may have done that, but locked him in by himself. I'm sitting there going like, how did he even get to that point? That may literally, there are people who are stupider than Tony Stark. This is the guy that figured out how to do time travel and all this other stuff that we know about. And yes, I know that doesn't happen yet, but he's smart enough to figure out all this other stuff. And yet he locks himself into a room with a trained, like a guy that could kill him with his fingers. And it made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah,
and
it
then,
was dumb.
and then the way that they kill Black Panther again, it's that easy. If it was that easy, how the hell did he not do that in the movies and stuff? And again, I know that hasn't happened yet. We're not. It's still all of this was like, hey, he is the baddest motherfucker out there and nobody can beat him. And I understand the what if, maybe that's this particular version of Killmonger or whatnot. It just, I couldn't buy any of that. Also I don't know. That was my biggest thing, is trying to figure out how the fuck do they want me to buy that Tony Stark locks himself in this room, or that Black Panther is literally that overmatched. It
It didn't make sense for him to take his helmet off. I didn't understand why he did that.
Well, that's the thing. It's like all of that.
Wasn't it the sound that Killmonger did from the gun made him take it off or something like that?
No, it hurts your ears and stuff, but I thought vibranium would protect you from that.
That's the thing.
Why?
It's like all of that because it protects you from just about everything else.
No,
Captain America
that's not.
hides
Nope.
behind it. Okay, well, whatever. It still makes no sense to me. Half of this shit that goes on in this, it just was like, what the hell? It was a fun episode to watch. I didn't hate it. It just, a lot of it just doesn't add up. It's almost like the zombie one. It's like you want me to believe that, that Hope gets infected or that Ant-Man was infected at a certain point, or that Hank Pym or his wife are infected and that they can shrink down to this size. Dude, if that's the case, then everybody's dead anyways, because these guys can hide and make it out. And through it's like they show you something and then they totally ignore the obvious answer on this side. And they want you to believe that there's some reason to buy it.
I hear what you said. This is my answer to what you're saying about the Tony thing. Yes, Tony is definitely smarter than that, but two things happened. His best friend got killed. He's already a narcissist. He was overconfident. That may be why he had very, 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 very poor judgment locking himself in the room with Killmonger. That's the only thing that makes sense. Other than that, I agree with you.
He obviously thought far enough to think, I gotta contain this guy. You think he, for any reason, thinks this guy's going to stand down, or that he can match this guy blow for blow or anything? That's my problem. He may have thought exactly like that, but he's going to be like, I'm going to lock him up, and I'm going to figure out how I can stop him.
Well, I agree. I agree it was dumb, but you seem to also be ignoring the fact that he had the Gundam in there with him. So that was his plan. The Gundam was going to stop him.
Yeah,
if Killmonger didn't have that little bit of vibranium with him, then that's what would have happened.
No, I agree with that, but I think Tony Stark would have locked him in there with the gun.
Right? Yeah. No, it was dumb. It was dumb.
I just say he was
overconfident. That it's not dumb.
Overconfident.
It's just this whole thing is poorly executed because again, they do things that the answer's right there of why this doesn't work, why this doesn't make sense.
All right.
They've been doing that a lot lately. So, I mean,
what's up, food? Comics. Rip it.
Well, like I said, I have a major issue with the fact that they keep lifting stuff from other movies. And that's basically what they did with this episode. They changed a few things here and there. And then you get this episode. What I would have liked to have seen, and what this really should have been about, is what if Killmonger became Black Panther and either have him defeat T'Challa at the waterfall or at the final battle at the end of Black Panther, and then you actually get a real Killmonger story of what if he actually became Black Panther, and there you basically see his actions unfold. It's just more corporate manufactured garbage, and it's just retreading shit we've already seen.
There's no way what you said was more entertaining than what we got.
Whatever, dude.
Listen, more entertaining or not, I'll tell you what, it would have made a hell of a lot more sense than the bullshit they tried to slap up there.
Let me ask a question to comments. Didn't you like the Doctor Strange thing?
Yeah, I did.
And just so I know, what's the difference between? Because didn't they regurgitate some of the Doctor Strange story?
No, they took an event, and even though I didn't like the Marvel Zombie one, they took an event right out of the MCU, which was Hulk returning to Earth, and there it deviated completely. It's like, yeah, you had some fights where they showed up, but for the most part, the plot of the story was completely different than what we saw at Endgame.
Okay.
And it's the same thing with the Doctor Strange thing. Yeah, they took stuff out of the MCU, and that's fine. But they created a completely different story. And for the most part, like I said, we got to rehash the stuff we've already seen.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a lot of stuff in the Doctor Strange too, though, didn't we? Like him taking the lady out and being a surgeon and going to that place and learning the magic and practicing it and then coming back and deciding to go separate ways. Isn't there a lot of
they kind of jumped through that to get you to the point?
Yeah.
Okay.
They jumped through it and said, "This is where he is. This is where he was." And yeah,
just trying to get clarification.
All right. Next up, Bossinator. Negatives.
I mean, I kind of like agree with some of the points that were made, but at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of like a different reality. It's not necessarily based around like the main stuff. Like, yeah, like Tony locking himself with Killmonger was dumb, but I also look at it this way that this is a Tony Stark he's not experienced with this stuff. Like, yeah, he's smart, but he does not. But compared to the timeline, he does not. He's basically still the same Tony Stark before he became Iron Man, right? Like he's not like that selfless real hero. He's still kind of that like selfish prick, essentially. So he's still gonna be very overconfident, still very cocky type thing. And granted, like it wasn't I wouldn't say it wasn't. It's just one of those things where I could understand via
Nah, it was
like
dumb.
that. It was well. It's just one of those things where I could you get what I'm saying.
It
And
didn't ruin the episode for you.
no,
Yeah,
and
agree.
I will say that this the way Black Panther went out, as much as I like the fact that he went out via the Stark technology, I just think it should have made a little bit more sense. Like,
Wait, I don't get how it doesn't make sense though. It's like the one thing because they were shooting at him, they was trying to hit him with them. Nothing else was working. You attack the weakness, right? The vibrations, boom, that makes sense. But for some reason, it doesn't make sense, and I don't get it.
I thought the vibranium that his suit was made out supposed to repel that kind of stuff.
Why?
Doesn't it? Because that's what they say in the live action. It absorbs the stuff.
Kinetic energy. Like it absorbs the kinetic energy and then it gives it back, like whatever fold or whatever. It's never showed us anything that it does that like would stop the sound from.
The sound.
However, that sonic tech works, it attacks the inner ears, like it attacks your body from the inside. I don't know how it works, but however it does work, it doesn't seem like the shielding of the vibranium or the energy absorption of the vibranium would have any effect on it at all to me.
Okay.
Why would he have to take off his mask?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I don't know why he did that. I don't know. Was he talking? He was talking to Rhodey, right? That's what's happening. Him and Rhodey was like, don't worry about it, General. You don't want to have to. This belongs to me. Like that's what he was doing, right? So I don't know why.
I'm going to look at it now. Yeah.
Yeah, you tell Rhodey that they don't have a problem, a quarrel with him. And before
right. This ain't about you.
Yeah. Then boy shot him in the back, and then Rhodey went down, grabbing his ear. You can see the blood vessels looking all funky around the ears, and then he pulled off his mask. Which to me, I thought the mask would be more protection, but I guess it's not. So.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't. Then maybe that was the problem.
Yeah, me, it's just like him taking off the mask. But Yellow, you done, Bossinator?
I was just gonna finish off by saying they could have clarified. They could have clarified a couple things, and maybe they could have done a few things better. But other than that, it didn't really ruin the episode for me.
All right. What about you, Yellow? Were there any negatives that you had for this episode?
Wakanda forever, Holmes. I hated that shit. It really took me all the way out.
Did you say Holmes?
Yeah,
no, I'm adding the Holmes because of how strong that ER was on the end of whatever. I just did not. He was like, Wakanda forever. I was like, no one should ever say that.
When they were fighting.
Yeah, it was like at the end with the army and all that stuff, and he's riding the rhino, and he's all like, Wakanda forever. I was like, don't fucking do that shit again, you bastard. Why did you do that? The Tony thing was dumb. I was like, it's dumb. There were a couple of corny lines. I was like, of course. But I love this shit, man. It was a lot of fun. It was way too much fun. Everything. Wakanda forever. That's the worst part, really. That's really the only bad thing that happened in the show.
All right. Next up is Nindroid. Did you have any negatives of this episode?
Honestly, I only have one. And it's because it's actually the beginning. And let me actually explain why I don't like a little bit of the beginning. I don't like that the first few minutes, it seems like Iron Man is the main character, where it should really be Killmonger from beginning to end. That's an example of good writing. Like you can't just keep on changing your main character. in my opinion. So it's like I just think it's at least within one story. That's what I'm trying to talk about. So I think it just like the beginning made it seem like Iron Man was the main character at first. And then, after Iron Man died and all of that, then Killmonger was the main character, which I mean, like, that's understandable, but that's just like a nitpick of mine. But
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Okay, I didn't get it at first, but now I understand. Yeah. The first half of it was more about Iron Man and Killmonger, and then the second half was like, no. Okay, I see what you're saying.
yeah,
now. Right.
like it just to me it felt like Iron Man was supposed to be the main character in the beginning and all of that, where it should just been Killmonger all the way as the main lead and all of that. So that's all. I like the rest. So yeah.
No, I love that shit, man. It sets up the betrayal, bro. That's the whole point. Like that sets up and I say, I don't know, because people have been saying that. I can't remember who said it exactly, but people were saying that like Killmonger had this great plan. He definitely had a goal, but he seemed way more opportunistic to achieve that goal. Like it was just like it seemed like he heard that Stane was gonna try and have Tony killed, and he was like, "Ooh, here's my end," right? And then that was working until it didn't, and then it was, "Ooh, Wakanda, here's my end." So it seemed like he was kind of taking advantage to a masterful extent of everything that was happening along the way. I really appreciated that shit, but I love the because I believe that Tony really liked this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he really connected with him. He even said it. He said two gearheads trying to like make up for their fathers or whatever it was. Like I appreciated that stuff. And if we didn't spend that much time with Tony, and him, then it wouldn't have hit the same. Even though it's still shallow because it's a kids show. It's not the deepest and heaviest, most emotional. It's still shallow, but it was. I think it made it effective.
Yeah, good point. I guess that's really it, Anzo.
All right. So for me now, my issue with this episode is I thought Killmonger, they should have made him good. Like, you know what I mean? It should have been a good Killmonger.
What the
Absolutely.
Kind of
because we already have a fucking bad Killmonger. So I don't want to see him just rehashing, like Comic said, it's a rehashment of Black Panther and Iron Man. I think they could have done a lot more different with it.
Yeah, they could have done something way different.
If they wanted to redeem him, like Danny said, if they want him to be the Black Panther,
no one wanted to redeem him, bro.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you want him to, I want him to be redeemed, though. If you want to give him the Black Panther mantle, I think he should have been redeemed. You know what I mean, and be worthy of being it. He's just
clip that.
I don't understand. Like who wanted to give him the black? I don't understand what you're saying. He tricked them.
No, I know that, but I'm talking about Marvel. I'm talking about Marvel. I'm not talking about the show. I'm talking about Marvel.
I don't understand.
Marvel making the episode, right? Because at the end he becomes the Black Panther. So that was kind of the point of the episode. Yeah, I know it's what if he changed, if he saved Tony Stark, but the point of the episode was him becoming the Black Panther. I would have preferred if they had him being the good guy through it, and then at the end maybe he goes in and he helps Wakanda, and then he becomes the Black Panther, something like that. But just to go in, all he is the same Killmonger, just a different plan. And the
point of the episode was not that he becomes the Black Panther. That's just something that happened because of what he was trying to accomplish. The point of the episode was showing another way for Killmonger to get his revenge.
But what's his revenge? Because his father didn't die, right? He didn't have no issues with the king. So what was his revenge? What was his revenge for Wakanda?
Well, I mean, I really can't tell you besides him killing the Black Panther.
Why did he do that? Because the whole thing of the first episode, the movie, because the whole thing about the first movie is him getting revenge for his father and them leaving him out of Wakanda, right? But you don't get none of that in this episode. So what's his motivation?
But we know why he wants to do it though, because we know him from the movie though. Like we know what his motivation is.
But did T'Challa's father kill Black Panther? Did T'Challa's father kill his father? Do we know that? Because he seems to have no issues with T'Challa's father.
Well, I don't know if he knows exactly who killed him. I don't know. We don't know that.
And I think
he knew in the movie.
I think in some senses
Good point, Alonzo.
you're doing what you've
That's
told
a
me
good
I
point.
do, which is I'm taking something like I know for sure about Killmonger, and that it's the same in this as it is in the MCU stuff. Because truthfully, if he's different, or if there's a different point here, then he's not the same character. So using a lot of the things you're talking about doesn't work necessarily.
No, but the difference happens much later, though, right? Like when he was a boy in Oakland playing basketball, his pops was killed in the apartment upstairs. That still happens, however many years ago when it happens, right? So his motivation, the whole reason, that's why when they when he meets Tony, he's all like, I'm Killmonger, because I killed a whole bunch of people. I'm good at killing, and then he takes his shirt off and he has all the scars and shit. It's because he's already been on that trajectory. He's already been
You assuming that. We don't know that for certain.
Right, and 100% too, because in the Black Panther movie, when he's fighting T'Challa, he says he found his father with claws marks in his body,
Panther
right?
claws in his chest,
Panther claws in his body, right? So if that's the case, then he would still have an issue with T'Challa's father, and he didn't.
Son. Yeah.
No, but does he know? Well,
he would know. If you're saying he's going from the movie point, then he would know who killed his father.
Mm-hmm. He would know that his cousin wouldn't be old enough to have done that.
Yeah, right. And he knows it's a Black Panther, so we know it's the father.
Yep.
So what's his motivation? That's my point. It's like this. That's why I had an issue with this episode. So I'm like, if you're gonna do this, then you can make him the good guy, right? He saves. Something happens.
Man, stop saying that.
Yeah, they could have done that. Absolutely. I wish they would have done that, because
I'm with you, dude, because that's what I thought they were going to do with it.
But how would they have gotten rid of Black Panther, the current Black Panther, T'Challa?
Maybe
they could have done something completely different.
He could have died, because here's what happens, right? When Tony Stark's come back and he has that interview, Tony Stark says more weapons. We got to build more weapons. They could have used that, right? Maybe those weapons that he built killed T'Challa, and that's why he's trying to help or whatever. Could have done anything like that.
Or maybe Klaue would have used that.
Or maybe Klaue.
Yeah.
Or maybe Klaue. They could have done something like that. But what they just did is just like, oh yeah, no, he's still the bad guy, but we just do it in a different way to manipulate it to get to.
So I think this idea is trash, right? But I need you to at least detail. Hold on, but I need you to at least detail why Killmonger would change. Right, because we talking about all this other ancillary shit. How are we gonna get rid of T'Challa? No one cares about that. What
we
the
don't
fuck
know
would
why
make
he's
somebody
doing what he's doing then? That's what I'm
do
saying,
because they killed his pops, but we do know.
But
So
he doesn't
they
know
didn't
that.
tell us that, right? They didn't tell us
Right.
that. I understand.
So
They did not tell us that in this episode, but we know that that's what happened because that's his whole thing, right? Like
But
that's
it's a different universe. It doesn't mean that's what happened in this universe, though.
Yeah.
but that's how he knows. But that's how he knows what Wakanda is, and
No, he knows what Wakanda is because his father told him what Wakanda is. If you're going to go by the movie,
Yeah.
his father told him all
Right.
about Wakanda, right? So this is my point. So now,
that's what I'm saying.
if the king ended up
That
killing
means
his
his pops
father,
was still out there during that time.
and if the king had ended up killing his father, then when he got to Wakanda, the
He would
first
kill the
thing he
king.
would do is kill the king.
Nah,
because he's been
but we
killing
don't know.
everybody.
Right, that he would
Nah, but we don't know what his plan is, though. We don't really know what his plan is, right? Because also
Yeah,
like
because they didn't fucking tell us, dude. That's why.
absolutely cool. So we don't understand his motivations. That's the problem. Cool. None of that makes him being good make sense.
No,
It could have done it.
It makes sense.
They could have.
Yeah, they could have done it. We're not
So,
saying that.
It does make sense.
What do they change about Killmonger that then justifies or rationalizes him being good?
Well, they changed a lot already because he saves Tony Stark,
Now,
right?
don't tell me about everything
Okay.
else. Tell
He
me
coulda-
what they could have
he
changed. Just
coulda
give me an
heard-
example.
Okay, he did it. He said his father told him the stories about that mountain, whatever it is. He could have he could have come to grips with that his father was killed. He want to get back to his homeland and be a part of Wakanda. He goes there. He helps them fight whatever bad guys they predict they make up. And the king says, "Okay, since T'Challa got killed, such and such, we need a new champion. You prove yourself to us. Here's a heart-shaped herb. Boom, he's good."
Wait, what made him good though? Because the heart-shaped herb didn't do it. So what made him
No,
good?
I'm saying he could have come
Just
to grips that his father was killed, and he heard the stories about Wakanda. He want to get back to his homeland. He sees it, and he's not any kind of hate or anything in his heart. He just, I want to be a Wakanda, and they get attacked by whatever enemy you want to put out there, Namor, whatever army, whatever it is. He comes there. He does the same thing he did in this video, and he kicks ass. And he saves them,
But he already spent most of his life having his father been killed and being raised outside of Wakanda, being aware of it, right, and being raised outside of it. Still had the same experiences as as an African American in the world. Like, something has to happen a lot sooner in his life, I think, for him to change into this good guy. I don't think he shows up at Wakanda, sees how beautiful it is, and is then like, "Oh, my ways, I was wrong this whole time." Like
the point is, the problem with this
They've done
episode
that
is
in other things.
and the point is, the problem with this episode is we don't really know if that's how his father died. We don't know if it was the king that killed his father.
Right. They didn't tell us that. Yeah,
right.
They didn't tell us that. Yeah.
So since they didn't tell us,
but I don't think that's a problem with this episode. I think it is implied. Everything that he does is to get back to Wakanda because he wants to rule Wakanda and use its resources to do whatever he wants to do, right? Everything that he does is to do that. So it is implied in there, I think. But they didn't tell us. Sure, they didn't explicitly tell us that his pops was killed by T'Chaka.
So just them doing that alone, I think they could have done something different to make him good. Like, if they didn't tell us that was the reason, you can assume it or not, but I'm just saying they could have done something either. I would have preferred him be a better good guy than to just rehash him being bad and getting a different way into Wakanda, because there was really nothing different from his character. It's just he's still doing the same things. He's still trying to get into Wakanda. So I think if they were going to do the what if, they could have switched it around and made him the good guy, right? Doctor Strange, they made him the bad guy, right? That's what they did. So they could have done something a little bit more different just to have him be the bad guy still and just get to Wakanda a different way. It's just like, it seems to me like all they did was take Black Panther and rewrite it.
That's how I felt.
That's all. It just felt like they rewrote Black Panther. So I thought they
and
could have done a lot more
essences of Iron Man
in it, right?
Okay.
Right. So
I think that was my problem. Is it's the way that they tried to execute it. I mean, I didn't hate this episode. It just was clunky, very clunky.
I didn't hate it
how
either.
they tried to get to their point.
Yeah, I didn't hate it either. I just thought it was like, well, okay, whatever. I think you could have done a lot more with that. So, but with that being said, we will get into our final thoughts and our grades for this episode and our predictions, because I seen the
Wait, did Nimrod go or Nidroid go?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nimrod.
Nindroid. Whenever I see Nindroid, I think Nimrod for some reason. I'm not saying
Nindroid, tear into him now. Just tear it. Give him 5 minutes. Hanzo, give him 5 minutes to tear into comics.
Nindroid seems to be muted, so maybe he didn't hear it.
He's probably not
He's not there. Yeah, he's gonna go back and watch.
Sorry,
this guy called me fucking Ninrod. That's funny. Yeah, so we'll get into our he said he'll be right back. So we'll get into our final thoughts and our grades and predictions too, because at this point I've seen the mid-season trailer and I'm really beginning to think that these episodes are connected, and I'll explain why. So Danny, any final thoughts and your grade for this episode?
Hey, it's a good episode. I liked it. It's gonna be an A for me. Always good to see Chadwick Boseman. Just a couple of nitpicks of why I didn't give it an A+. But it is one of my favorites. I've already watched it twice. May watch it again. Hey, I give it an A. I liked it very much.
All right. Chris Knight. Oh, do you have any predictions?
I agree with what you say. I think maybe not all of them, but maybe a couple of them are going to tie in based on those that mid-season credits we saw a couple nights ago. Because there's some things on there that we haven't seen yet, unless they're trolling us. Marvel's been known to do that too. So, if they're not trolling us, then one or two of these episodes are going to tie together. So,
absolutely,
it's only 3 left now, right?
Yeah, 3 left. Yeah. Mr. Knight.
Oh, sheesh. Like probably a C-. It's clunky execution. A lot of things that just didn't make sense in it. Again, I didn't hate it. Just it's there, kind of. I think it's definitely a step back from what they had done in the past few. So, yeah, predictions. I hope and I pray that they did not do continuations to these damn stories. I don't need 2 parts. I understand that they kind of end in like inopportune times, but it's like the Twilight Zone. Sometimes the Twilight Zone just dropped and you're like, wait a minute, what happened? You know, and it didn't matter. It just went on, and here, we're giving you something different this time. It wasn't about the finish. It's about the what if of it. And it should always leave that question. I don't like it like that, but that is exactly what they should do. Leave the question mark at the end. Don't wrap it up. And they're going to do that. They're going to go and screw it up and wrap it up on some of these. And I just assume leave them where they are.
I feel you. Comics. F?
I give it a D. You know,
okay.
It's not like the most atrocious thing I've ever seen, but like I said, I hate when they just retread stuff, and Marvel has a nasty habit of doing that, unfortunately.
Got you. And next up, Bossinator.
I'd probably go with A minus. I think it's a good episode. I wouldn't say it's the best episode on the show so far. I think the Doctor Strange episode is probably going to be the best episode of the show, unless they do something to really wow me. But I'm also factoring my grade into, did they use the what if question to its potential? Like things like the Doctor Strange episode and things like, I don't want to say it, but the Marvel Zombies episode is that they do use the what if possibility, and I like the infinite possibility structure type thing where you alter events. And I think it did it in a pretty good way. I think they could have I do agree they could have maybe went in a more of a creative direction, but other than that, I think it used it I think they did it pretty well. And I kind of agree with what Chris said. I really don't want them to do continuations of some of these because, like, I could understand maybe doing like spin-off series, because even in the comics back then, they, you know, because some what if stories turned into actual comic books. Like Spider-Girl, like, I'm just going to use this as an example. Like, Spider-Girl is one of those examples where it was a what if story at first. Like, it was a what if story, then it ended up turning into her own comic book line. Which I'm not saying it's actually going to happen with this, but I'm just saying, like, I would rather them just do like a spin-off show. Like, if they want to do a continuation of Marvel Zombies, then yeah, do a spin-off show or something. Like, I wouldn't have a major issue with it. It's just the point of what if is there's supposed to be like one-off, like one-shot stories. Like, they're supposed to be like one-offs, like batshit insane sometimes, or like just like, I like those types of things. That's just one of those things that I think what if, like, the show is kind of making me a little concerned, is that with season 2, they're just going to do like part 2s to like every one of these episodes. And I don't want that to be the case. I want a different episode, like basically every episode.
I feel you. Ninja, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. What do you give your grades, final thoughts, and predictions, if you have any?
I would say this is a solid A. For predictions, I think next episode will be the Gamora one.
Hey, Nendroid, really quick, I want you to, when you get a chance after this is over, to go back and watch the 5 some odd minutes you were out
Because
there.
I accidentally called you Nimrod by accident. So.
I get that a lot, so
I figured as much. I think I've caught myself a couple of times like Nendroid.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see why you're calling it out so much, because you have a guilty conscience.
No, I don't. I ain't got no idea. Listen, there's no guilt in my conscience. It's the fact that I have a lack of one most of the time.
All right. And were you finished, Ninja?
nope, that's really it.
All right. I'm going to give it a C+.
Hey, you didn't do yellow.
Oh, shit. My bad. Yellow. I did. No, I didn't give it.
No,
My bad. I totally skipped you. I'm sorry,
No,
brother.
that's whatever, man. I get it. I disagree with you. You want good Killmonger and shit? I think I understand.
No, I didn't. I didn't do it on purpose, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This was great, man. I love this episode, man. 9 out of 10, bro. I really appreciate how they showed us more like what the Bossinator was saying, man. They gave us much more Killmonger. They showed us the lengths that he would go to, you feel what I'm saying, to accomplish his goal, and I like that, man. Because in the Black Panther movie, all they really showed us was him kill his girl. That was the only thing that they showed us that like of, you know, what kind of machinations he would go to get it done. And
You killed Claude.
I'll say he
and this
killed
chick, yeah, but
Claw in the
who's
movie.
Claw?
He broke
Who's
into
Claw?
the
That's
movie theater
not.
and killed all those
No one
people.
cares that he kills Claw. What? Broke into a movie theater?
Oh, sorry. Did I say movie theater?
No.
I meant museum. Sorry.
Museum, yeah, and he kills the people in the museum. Right?
I mean, if that lady would have been paying attention to what she was putting in her body, she would have been hey, but
During the road coffee.
but really, I appreciate the conniving and manipulation of trying to get friendly and get close to somebody. That's really what the him and Tony stuff really brought it home for me. Killing some random bitch at a museum and her security, or the evil guy, the racist guy who like got you some vibranium. Like these aren't real. You know, like I said, when he killed his girl, that was some shit that, you know,
I hear what you're saying.
oh, you're foul. I like when they show me how foul he really is to get the shit done. And I think killing dude's son and showing up and lying to his face and then taking the very mantle that you know, under the guise of like getting revenge for the death of the son that you caused. I like that shit too. I like all of that. Very much so. Prediction. I don't know, man.
So
I don't want to predict that.
You like foulness?
Straight up, all day. Listen, toxic love. Like if I'm not fucking a bitch who does it, like if she says I love you to me and I believe her, I'm not having a good time. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's dead ass. All right. So that's so you know what I mean? Like it's a filthy world. Some of us need to live in the negativity so that y'all can enjoy your rainbow and sunshine and all that shit. You feel me? Like that's what it is.
That explains
I'm doing
so
you a
much.
service.
That explains so much now. Okay.
Oh, fuck.
But for predictions, we're absolutely getting continuations of these episodes. I'm wondering if the whole first half of this season is just the first half of each episode, and then the second half is going to be, you know, the conclusions to those things. I'm excited to see what happens. You know what I mean? Like I know everybody wants them to be one-offs, and I wanted the What If series to be one-offs. I don't want them to be canon, all of that stuff. But at the same time, I'm still excited to see what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like more often, I've only not liked 2 episodes here, and yeah, it was one of them. Unfortunately, was the T'Challa and Star-Lord thing, and the other one because it was too goofy, and the other one was zombies because zombies are always going to be corny. And I thought I'd like it because it's the MCU, and I was like, "Oh, the MCU twist on zombies." It was still zombies. At the end of the day, you can't do it. Zombies can't be interesting, you know. So
I agree with that.
There it is.
Well,
Yeah,
with
they
the
just-
zombie
they
movie,
can't.
It's not about the zombies; it's about the survivors.
Exactly, which is it's like then what's the point of having a zombie? Tell me a whole different story where the survivors are doing dope shit. Like don't fucking give me zombies. Fuck zombies. Zombies are
I like
trash.
zombies, man. I was good
Zombies
with
are
that
absolute
episode.
garbage. They've always been garbage. 28 Days Later was the only good zombie movie, fam.
What?
That's it.
Come on, not even
thought
Zombieland
Zombieland
the
was
Living
pretty
Dead. Man, that movie's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Zombieland is funny. Zombieland is funny. But both of them, I just watched the second one too. They're funny, but like you can have that movie without zombies, and it's still just as funny. So
Shaun of the Dead. You haven't seen that one?
Shaun of the Dead is funny too. It's funny, but like these all, I only watch them once because it's funny. You're making fun of zombie movies. Thank you. We need to do that. You know what I mean? Because zombie movies are trash. So there you go.
So no Walking Dead. You don't like Walking Dead. None of that.
I didn't even tune in for that, and I'm so glad I didn't tune in for that because 2 seasons later, everybody was like, "This show is trash," and I was like, "I tried to warn you.
Hey,
I tried
Yellow.
to warn you." So,
Hey, what was the zombie movie you said you liked?
28 Days later.
28
Oh
days
yeah,
later.
okay, yeah, no, that's
Yeah, that's
It
the
is
only
good.
good one. It's the only
It
good
is a
one.
very
It
well
technically is a zombie
executed one.
movie.
Hey,
World War
hey,
Z, not World War Z.
chill.
the
I
one
like
with
World War Z
yeah,
but-
that's it, right? World War Z. Yeah.
with Brad Pitt.
Zombie movies
Yeah.
are ones that came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
Hey, did any of y'all see the train to Nobody?
Which one?
Oh,
Oh.
Train to Busan.
Train to Busan. That's a wicked zombie movie.
Sorry, that's the best zombie movie ever made. I apologize. I was wrong. I misspoke. 28 Days Later was good, and then Train to Busan came out and completely changed my mind on that. That's a great fucking movie. And then the second one came out, and that trailer looked like trash. I was like, I'm not tuning in for this one. You got me the first time, bitch. You're not gonna get me this time.
The second one isn't that good, but first one was good. First one was good.
I think that's the problem with a lot of zombie movies is they want to go and they want to do a second one. It's like, okay, folks, it's just
the issue.
It's zombies.
We know the story.
It's zombies.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't make. It's not. There's nothing. Anyway, so about what if? I do expect this next half of the season to be continuations, and I think for the most part they're going to be enjoyable, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I'm going to give this episode, I'll say a C+. You know what I mean? It wasn't my favorite one. I didn't hate it, but
That's
again,
disrespect.
you know what I mean? It's just.
And you like that goofy ass T'Challa episode where Nebula had a blonde wig on the whole time and fucking and Jimon Hunsu was trying to blow T'Challa for the whole movie? Like, come on,
Listen,
bro.
it just goes and proves as long as you put a blonde wig on anything, people are going to be
pretty much.
Right, and I'm gonna go with the prediction that they are connected, because when we seen the trailer, you see evil Doctor Strange and Thor fighting together. There were some other things I can't think of right now, but they're definitely
gonna. Doctor Strange survive? He's locked in this little bubble. If he gets out, what's the fucking point?
Exactly.
Well, it's multiverses, right? That's the point of multiverses.
It's not a multiverse if they're both fighting side by side now. All of a sudden,
but
it's the same universe. It just all happened in its own little area. It's
it's a multiverse. That whole universe turned into a black void, and he was that's the whole universe. That's the whole point of that, right?
Yeah,
so somebody has to take him out of that universe.
Oh God.
And he has to go to a different universe.
I think something so bad happened that the Watcher's going
to interfere.
Yeah, obviously.
And then pull him out of there to help because the shit has hit the fan.
Yeah. Anything that happens with them connecting it, it's going to be the Watcher. The Watcher is going to do something. He's going to finally, because he already made it a big point in that one not to intervene, right? So there is going to be something, right? So there's going to be something where he's going to have to break those rules, and he's going to.
You see how black the Watcher looked in this episode, though? The Watcher was extra black this episode. Did you notice that? He was extra. I swear I saw a Kofi in the background somewhere. Hey, I feel like there was. He was extra.
Oh shit! All right. With that being said, guys, I do appreciate everyone that came on and everybody that watched in the chat. All you guys are great. Thank you for popping in. We're gonna go around the panel one more time so they could talk about their channels. First up, Danny Graham.
I am Danny and Come and chat tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch me on my show. Be myself, Anzo, Chris Knight, Terrence, T-Virus, and also the lady of the chat, which is Maz Mama Bear. Also, Thursday night, 9 p.m., me versus Anzo. I'm going to win. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to win. So if you're not doing nothing, tune in. His playlist versus my playlist. It should be fun. North versus South. So please tune in. It's going to be simultaneously broadcasted from Chaos Central and Bigger Ford Entertainment.
Oh, shit.
That is correct. Chris Knight, you are up.
Yeah, Real Review 3000, gaming streams, music reviews, commentary on stuff here and there. Got plans for like some watch parties and stuff on some Star Wars and like the original trilogy, unedited type stuff.
I'll be down.
But I do a lot of stuff, but like these two gentlemen before me have mentioned Chaos Central, guys. If you're watching this over on Bigger Ford Entertainment, make sure you come over here really quick. We got a poll up above and pinned to the chat here. You can vote on whether or not you like this episode or not. But yeah, this coming up Thursday, I'll be hosting the battle between these two over here. So make sure you show up. Make sure you support both these guys and their music choices. It's going to be excellent. And you guys, the chat, the people watching, wherever you're watching, we will have a poll running on both channels where you guys get to pick who the winner is. This is not decided by me. This is not going to be decided by them. It's going to be decided by you guys. So you guys come and watch it, and it's going to be fire, man. But thank you, Anzo, for having me. As always, I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for popping in. Comics, man. Talk to the people. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. You can find me over at Comics Division. Of course, I'm on Twitter and Minds at Comics Division, and that's pretty much all I got.
All right, Bossinator.
My channel, I do a bunch of stuff over there. Road to 200. I'm at 183 right now. So if you haven't subbed, go and sub. Do a bunch of stuff over there. Find me on channels like Ninjoid243, where I'm actually going to be doing a review of his Ninjoid cut of The Last Jedi when he gets that done. And it'll basically be like a professional review because I'm going to review it before it actually comes out. And I'll give like some... And then we're going to hype that up because it's a big deal over there. And, you know, you can find me over there for Galactic Chat. Sauerkraut's channel, where we're also reviewing What If. Zach Axiola's channel for the Halloween reviews. Chris Knight's channel, the Review 3000 for the Rumble. The weekly wrap-up. Some other stuff, Chaos Central. Basically everybody's channels at this point. Twitter at the Bossinator17. Chaos Central Twitter. Yeah, that's about it for me. Thanks for having me on, Hanzo.
No problem. Thank you for coming. Yellow does it. What's up, brother? I didn't forget you this time. Talk to the people, sir.
Yeah, Yellow does it, man. You know what I mean? That's, you know, channel stuff, great counsel. I mean, it's not about me, man. You feel what I'm saying? It's about Bigger Fun Entertainment. It's about Comic Chat. It's about Chris Knight over there. It's about Comic Division. I'm not sure what his actual name is. It's about Austinator. And we're gonna get to Ninjoid, man. You feel what I'm saying? Check these guys out. Go watch What If. Go check out that Killmonger episode one more time. Fuck that corny ass grade Anzo was talking about. Like, evil Killmonger is always the way to go.
Hey, man, I'm always good. I'm always good with the bad guys, but this time I wanted them to switch it up and make them good. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's because you agree with him, and you was like, nah, but they got to make him good. He was killing all those people, but I agree with him, though.
Yeah, you got to make him
It's
good.
okay to agree with a bad guy, man. It's okay to agree with a bad guy. That's all I'm saying. I agree with Thanos, man. Half these motherfuckers got to go.
Ninja, you're up.
All right. You guys can personally find me on my YouTube channel, Ninrod243. So yeah, go check that out. You know, where I have the Ninrod cut of The Last Jedi, which is.
If you're trying to make me feel bad, it's not working.
I'm a Nimrod. Get it? Nimrod. But anyway, go check it out. You know, it took me now like 9 months to fully edit that movie and all of that. So go check it out. I always have Galactic Chat. That's on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Where this week we will be talking about quite a few things Star Wars related and Marvel as well. And yeah, that's really it. Anzo, this was a great episode to talk about.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for coming. I do appreciate it. And you know what? I just want to get a little serious for a second, guys. Just give me a second, right? Yeah. Because I did a video and I was hyped up in my video and whatever, talking about Danny. I was hyped up. And then after that, I let it go. But then Danny had to come in here and say he's going to spank me. And this is not fucking happening. I am telling you that right goddamn now. This Canadian boy is going to light that motherfucking ass up, okay?
Man, this is like the weigh-in all of a sudden. It's like the weigh-in. Everything was nice and calm. And then all of a sudden it's like fucking, just like this brawl just goes like boom. And it's like, here we go.
I got tunes for days, all right? Danny has no idea what is going to be unleashed on him on Thursday night, guys.
You can have tunes for days, but you can only play 5, bro. That's the dilemma.
That's okay.
That's okay. Play 5.
That's okay.
Five ain't enough.
5 for each category. But
okay.
Yeah, so 80s, 90s, and 2000s, right? And it doesn't matter. Every single fucking 5 I have will blow out anything you are playing, bro.
Y'all gonna play the same. Y'all gonna play the same songs. Both of y'all old as shit. I will wash the both of y'all.
Oh, you got next,
rinse,
bro.
Rinse and repeat.
You can't play the same song. If he play it, it's on my list. You can't play it.
Danny can't play us to find another song. So that's the dilemma too.
So you will hear 30 different songs.
That is correct.
I will wash the both of y'all.
You got
next.
Same time. Oh, really?
Facts.
Get your list ready because next week you on. All right.
I don't want these problems.
Oh, bro, I ain't worried about you. You gotta understand,
All right.
man.
All right.
Canadian boy got that shit down packed, man. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Just
it's
saying.
all fun and games.
Just because you still got all your Napster files, don't mean that you know nothing about music, man.
Oh shit! I got vinyl,
It's-
brother. Let's just say
What
that.
is it? 80s, 90s, and 2000s? What is hip hop or?
Hip hop.
Because I'll throw some Thierry Marie on and shut the whole show down. What up?
You whatever you got, bro. Next week.
Uh,
Next week
see?
you got the. Actually, I was thinking about maybe you going up against Nerdman, and then you fight the winner of me and or the winner of that one, because I know you're gonna beat Nerdman.
Yeah.
Anything.
Well, why are we doing?
Yeah.
I'll just take a bye week. And then we can. Like, what are we doing, bro?
Yeah, you know. So I want to try and set it
Mama,
up. You know,
what
maybe something we could do more. So I want to see how it goes, and you know, maybe probably make a thing out of it. But yeah, with that being said, though, guys, make sure you turn into that. Make sure you sub to everybody on this panel, man. Everybody's doing good stuff, man. They got great content, and I do appreciate everybody that came in once again. With that being said, we are out. Peace, love, and hair grease. See you next time.
I am inevitable. Follow me and ponder the question, what if?